The UK's Home Office is under fire over its visa program. The government has promised to cut back on the number of migrants coming to the UK, but they're providing skilled work visas for diversity and inclusion experts, as well as for poets and bloggers. Esther, this just beggars belief.
Yes, if you are ever in any doubt that this government has no idea what it's doing, this is probably a prime example. I mean, the government only came out and started balking about reducing the numbers of worker migrants into the country after net migration hit 1 million people in the space of just over a year. And yet to say that and then still have visa exemptions for diversity hires, some of whom, I kid you not, within the NHS are commanding a salary upwards of £100,000, it really does beg a belief. Why do we need to hire more diversity inclusion employees from outside of Britain, no less? I mean, the whole role is ridiculous. But the fact that they're creating exemptions for that and for poets, as opposed to, for example, doctors and construction workers, it just beggars belief. Another thing that they're trying to get around, which they can't, is about a third of the migration figures that you're seeing into Britain, only about a third are actual workers. So for all the people that are saying, oh, they're coming here to work and we need them and all of that, only less than a third of them are actually coming here to work. Many of them are coming with their families who are basically dependents of these people, many of whom don't actually meet the threshold where they're actually net contributors. So regardless of how you look at it, they are draining more resources from the British state. And yet there's been nothing on this from the government. Instead, they're just trying to trim around and just work around the edges and remove things like florists, but they're keeping diversity workers as people that can actually get work visas in the country. It's ridiculous.
Oh, come on, Esther, you can't have too many diversity officers in a country. Where would the West be without diversity and inclusion officers? Just quickly, moving from migration to anti-Semitism, the UK's anti-Semitism problem has been laid bare with a new government-backed report revealing anti-Semitism has been normalised in much of the middle class across Britain. The report showed Jewish people in Britain were suffering increasing prejudice, and it's become prevalent in the NHS, universities and in the arts. We've only got about a minute left, Esther, but how's the government reacted to this report that anti-Semitism is so widespread amongst so much of the British community?
Well, I'm sure they're not going to be surprised. What's really quite interesting is when this particular surge of anti-Semitism has happened. And it was really in the immediate aftermath of the October 7th attacks, which is quite baffling. I mean, we've seen it all in our streets and the capital in London of people saying that they're anti-Israel or anti-Zionist protests, and yet they're intimidating Jewish business owners. Jewish business owners are having to close on Saturdays, which tends to be a quite busy day for businesses. We've seen it with the sort of anti-Israel chants. We've seen it with the BBC and Glastonbury. So it's not coming as a surprise. It's just the timing as well. And bear in mind, this report was a cross-partisan report. So it was done by two leading members of both parties, both main parties. And they're both coming to this conclusion that they're basically gobsmacked by the extent to which anti-Semitism has been normalised in Britain.
Yeah, well, that's what makes the report so startling, and the shock of those who conducted the report at just how wide anti-Semitism is. I note they'll be presenting recommendations. We're going through a similar process here, having had recommendations presented to our Prime Minister. We're waiting to see what action, if any, he will take. And it's interesting that the UK are going through a similar process as we are here. Esther Krakue, always a delight to speak. Thanks for your time.